You are welcome. This is the Messiah Revelation Channel End Time Prophetic Ministry dedicated to preparing the world for the arrival of the Messiah. Today we are looking at preparation for the kingdom that is coming, the kingdom of the Messiah. And so we say, be in a prepper mode. Be aware of the Babylon prophecies, the prophecies that relate to Babylon. And when I say Babylon, we are talking about Babylon, United States. There are so many platforms dedicated to prepper issues, preparing for natural disasters, preparing for a day when America or the world economy will collapse. But as a man, as a woman, a child of God, you need to be in a prepper mode, preparing for the arrival of the Messiah, Yeshua, who is coming to judge the world. Be in a prepper mode. A proper prepper mode. When I say a proper prepper mode, it is not the prepper who is preparing for a natural disaster, preparing for the collapse of the economy. Being in a prepper mode is spiritual. And I believe that the parable of the 10 virgins is significant here. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, talks about the parable of the 10 virgins. They were all righteous. They all prepared, but 5 of them were not wise enough. I'm sure they made a little mistake. And so will be people who make a lot of mistakes because they will not anticipate what will happen. Because the final trumpet of heaven has already sounded, from any time, from any moment, the Messiah will come. The angels don't know when he will come, but I believe that the signs are very clear that the Messiah is preparing to come. And the signpost is America. It is America because it is the Babylon spoken of in the book of Revelation. And America is relevant for the events in the book of Revelation. The events of chapter 13 of the book of Revelation. The events of chapter 13 relates to the man of sin. It relates to the Antichrist. The Antichrist cannot rule the world without control over world technology. And America is the center of these technologies. You can call them the Antichrist technologies. The technologies that will make it possible for the Antichrist to control who can buy and who can sell. America is also relevant because he who rules America rules the world. And that's why you should not joke about elections when you are talking about American elections. And as you are aware, come January 20th, 2025, the Freemasons in America, they will do special enchantments. And they do it all the time. Anytime there is an inauguration of America's president, the Freemasons do special enchantment. The purpose of the enchantment is to invoke the spirits of the god of the Freemason to come and inhabit the president of the United States. And we don't care whether it is a red president or a blue president. He who rules America rules the world. And he who rules the world, you know who rules the world, based upon the scripture in John chapter 14, verse 30, the prince of this world. And so that's why we need to be in a prepper mode, and particularly the time that we're in, the days of the sounding of the final trumpet of heaven. For the Hebrew Israelites, you need to be in a prepper mode, because one, you are Hebrews by bloodline, and the prophecies in Deuteronomy 28 relates to you. The prophecy of the Lord that you will be scattered to Egypt relates to you. The prophecy about regathering relates to you. And America is an island, and it is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. So Zephaniah was talking prophetically. Isaiah was talking prophetically. And Isaiah, Jeremiah, they all agree that you will be gathered. The prophecy in Genesis 15, verses 13 to 14 relates to you. At that time, the Lord told Abraham that his descendants will be sojourners in a nation that is not their own. 1. 2. They will be afflicted for 400 years. Number 3. And the nation that afflicted them will be judged. So there's something like Genesis 15, judgment hovering over the United States. And so when we hear about civil unrest in America, when we hear about dollar collapse in America, and when you hear about elections in America, you should not take them lightly. You need to be in a prepper mode. I'm not talking about social preparation. I'm not talking about economic preparation. I'm talking about spiritual preparation. You need to prepare as someone who is enlightened, who has discernment that the time for the regathering is now, is very close. It is our responsibility to blow the trumpet of the second coming of the Messiah, the trumpet for the gathering of the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah. The Lord doesn't speak just like that. He speaks and he performs, and the words that come from his mouth will be fulfilled. The Lord predicted 400 years of captivity. And so if you can use 1619 and 2019 as your benchmark, you know that the captivity, that time, is over. Of course, there will be some lingering. There will be some captivity still lingering. Racial profiling will still go on. Discrimination will still go on. Jim Crow laws will go on in one form or the other. But prophetically, the time is over. It's over because the final trumpet of heaven has sounded, and we are waiting for the arrival of the Messiah. And you need to take admonition from the prophecies of the Bible. The book of Revelation gives you a way out, and the way out is Revelation 18, verse 4. Come out of her, my people. And as we are heading towards the elections, America's election. You are two sides. And the other side, the blue side, is talking about human rights, reproductive rights, abortion rights, transgenderism, and LGBT rights. And these rights are related to abominations. These rights are related to disobedience. And what does it mean to you? It means that America is repeating the disobedience for which the Lord scattered the children of Judah, the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites. And Zechariah warns you in Zechariah 1 verse 6. Zechariah says, look at your forefathers, your ancestors, where are they? Of course, you know the history of captivity. And here we are, we see one side talking about promotion of the abominations for which the Lord scattered his children, hoisting and hovering of LGBT flags all over the world, transgenderism all over the world. Joe Biden said transgenderism is America's culture, and a special day was taken to honor transgenderism. And the blue side is promoting it. And the flags of transgenderism is being hoisted, being waved at political rallies all over the United States. And people are very happy about it because they want their side to win. And it's because they are pledging their allegiance to the human kingdoms, the kingdoms of this world. But the kingdoms of this world are passing away. It is the kingdom of the Messiah that will last eternally, forever and ever. And the other side is a red side, and they are in idolatry. When I say idolatry, they are worshiping persons and personalities, the courts of personality. And so they are worshiping idols. And you should be in a prepper mode, because when you worship idols, the Molechs and the bells and the Baals and the Baphomets, and when you worship those idols, you know what happens to Babylon when Babylon was destroyed because of and idols. Jeremiah chapter 50 and 51 talks about the destiny of Babylon. And so the other side is looking at making America great again. Great for what? Great for the abominations. Great for the transgressions. And so the iniquities of the Amorites are ripe. And if you are Hebrew Israelites, you need to be in a prepper mode, spiritual prepper mode, because the last of this world are passing away. The kingdoms of this world are passing away, and we are heading towards the most critical part of the end times. And that is the time when, by deception, the Antichrist will come. And I believe that the Antichrist will come from America, and I believe that America will lay the foundations for the Antichrist. So we need to be awakened. Whether you are on the blue side or you are on the red side. But if I were you, my allegiance would be towards the throne of the Most High. And you should be in a prepper mode, a spiritual prepper mode, because we are heading towards the final days. The trumpet has already sounded prophetically based upon revelation. And so this is to remind you that the prophecies are going to be fulfilled. And Genesis 15 prophecy will be fulfilled. God told Abraham that his people will be in captivity for 400 years, and then the nation that captured them will be judged. And so Genesis 15 judgment is lingering, is looming over America. And not only that, Genesis 19 judgment is also looming over America. And when we talk about Genesis 19 judgment, we are talking about judgment of Sodom and judgment of Gomorrah. And you know why I'm talking about it? 2015, June 26, Supreme Court of the United States laid the basis, the foundation for that judgment. The presidential candidate for the Blue Party is a prosecutor, and the angels of the Lord will prosecute the case of America. America has been founded wanting many tackle uprising. The handwriting is already on the wall. And so I will encourage you to be in a prepper mode, a proper prepper mode. When I say a proper prepper mode, you need to be in preparation for the coming of the Lord. His time has come, and we are to blow the trumpet. And so this is the trumpet that we need to blow. It is not enough to be a Hebrew Israelite. It's not enough. It is not enough to self-identify as a Hebrew Israelite. It is important to know the responsibilities of a Hebrew Israelite. You need to obey the commandments of the Most High. You need to practice holiness. You must set yourself apart. Imagine what it means when you have to set yourself apart. The vow of the Nazarite. A Nazarite is someone who is set apart for the Lord, as Samuel was, as Samson was, as John the Baptist was. And you know the calamity of Samson. He was an Israelite, all right. He was a Nazarite, but by the end of his life, he deviated, he disobeyed God, and he was not in a proper prepper mode. And so he died. He died with his enemies. And you need to realize that the Messiah is coming to gather his people from all the places where they were scattered to. And don't let the Lord come and see you in abomination. The abominations of Sodom, the abomination of the Canaanites, the abomination of Babylon, America. Separate ye from the abominations and come out of Babylon, because the judgment of Babylon is very close, and you must listen to the admonition of the Revelation 18 verse 4 angel. Come out of her, my people, because America is being prepared for judgment. The time of Genesis 19 judgment is now. The time of Genesis 15 judgment is now. The iniquities of the Amorites are now ripe. So repent, accept the gospel, and be in a proper prepper mode. We're talking about spiritual preparation, getting ready for the arrival of the Messiah. He will send his angels to all the four corners of the earth. And if you read Isaiah 11, you know where he's coming. to gather you. The remnant will be gathered, and there will be a purge. And those who are waiting on the Lord must take inspiration from the parable of the 10 virgins, the 5 wise and the 5 foolish. And I hope you will be among the 5 wise, and you will not be among the 5 foolish. And that is the message I have for you. Remember that the judgments of Babylon will come. They will not tally. They will come. And this is the time that we are in. And so don't be confused about the elections and what is happening. And this is a kingdom. And the kingdom that we have in the world are the kingdoms of this world. When the final trumpet comes in, Revelation 11:15, the kingdoms of the world and the kingdoms of heaven will become the kingdoms of Christ, who will reign forever and ever. If Revelation 13 is your guide, you should know that the Antichrist has only 3.5 years to complete his assignment. And America is preparing the throne of the Antichrist. So don't be confused about the blue and the red wave. You need to prepare for the white wave, the white flags, the white horse, the kingdom that is coming. And you need to have your garment without any blemish, without any wrinkles. And this is the message for you today. Thank you. My email is raptureafrica@yahoo.com. Be in a prepper mode. Prepper mode. Prepper mode. Proper prepper mode. Prepare for the coming of the Lord, the coming of Yeshua, the second coming of Yeshua to gather the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah. And Satan will confuse you by diverting your attention to politics and economics and technologies that are now in the world. Convenience, the world of convenience, the world of materialism. But all these things are passing away. Thank you for watching this video.